I thought I'd make an introduction video before I got much further. You can call me JckHllnd or JckHllnd, or the Dark Lord of the Tulsa Underground, whatever works for you. For reasons I won't get into, I can't do a simple webcam shoot, so I found this program called Extra Normal, and I've started using it. Some of my videos will be like Mary, and Freedom, poems I'm bringing to life, and others will be like the gay rights video I did, choosing a character and having it rant and rave for a minute or two. If I make a video response to someone I disagree with, no matter who that person is, even someone like VFX or Apologetics, I will work on not insulting the person so much as their ideas. Kind of a code of honor thing. That, however, does not mean that I won't insult trolls if they appear on my videos. It doesn't matter if you disagree with me, only that you do so with some intelligence, but I won't put up with people upshocking hatred just to get attention. Moving on to other things, I grew up Christian, and it was the only solid thing in my life with the exception of my parents. Basically, I moved around all my growing up years. The longest I stayed in one house was 3 years, 19 till 22, and the longest I stayed in one town or area was 12 till 17. I've lived in 6 different states, and no, my parents are not military, just nomads. I have no proper formal education. I graduated the 4th grade and that's it. But I know through tests that I've taken that I could go to college if I wanted to. I just don't want to. Don't get the wrong idea, I study things quite often, but I do so alone without having to worry about tests, and I do so on my own time, which is really quite nice. I've studied religions of different sorts. I began the journey of rejecting the faith in my teens. Why I began to question and eventually rejected the faith has a lot more to do with a sense of ethics than a sense of reality. Sometimes my imagination can run full tilt and I can get carried away. No, reality wasn't what caused me to begin to question. Treating this one kid who was a couple of years older than me like he was less than I was, because I didn't think he was Christian enough, and having that kid move away, and realizing what a jerk I had been, was really what began the questioning for me. Of course, after that, questions of a more theological perspective or philosophical came soon after that. Mostly meditations on the relationship between power and morality. He who makes the rules is always right. The only way anyone else could be right is to agree with the person in power. To me, this is what the concept of God is like. It's not one I can abide by. Might does not equal right, and looking back over it, I have suffered a lot from guilt, because I watched JckHllnd Divas on HBO when I was a teen, and a lot from fear of hell and torture. For me, rejecting the faith was more of a journey, because I've gone back and forth on this issue. Like I said, my imagination can carry me away on its currents sometimes. But in the end, you always have to deal with reality, the reality of there being no historical record of a man named Jesus, the reality of church history not being very supernatural at all but mostly quite natural and political, and the reality of all the other sons or sons of God, and how Christianity has pagan roots. Tied into the questions of religion I had as a kid, I've also studied both the occult and philosophy. I've also studied psychology, because while I was trying to figure out the nature of God, reality, and everything, I was also very concerned with the question of who I was. I used to ask people who they thought I was, but all I ever got back was my name. I started reading books on the subject. Life experience has taught me that on a whole a person can learn more from a good book than from other people. But if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. Peace.